This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Cabo Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors, to episode number 238 of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have good neighbor Scott Safford from the Sea Gypsy Vacation Rentals. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Welcome. Good morning.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to get to know people in the community and share their story with our listeners. So obviously you're down in Fort Myers Beach.
Yes.
Why don't you share a little bit about what you do first?
Well, right now what we do is we're recovering from Hurricane Irma and the last two hurricanes. But I own Sea Gypsy Vacation Rentals, which is the largest family-owned vacation rental company on the island. And we started about 12 years ago with a small boutique hotel called the Sea Gypsy Inn, my wife and I. And it morphed into a vacation rental company. After the hurricane, we lost our hotel. We lost most of our inventory vacation rental wise, but we're rebuilding and building the business back. So I'm excited to be here.
It's been quite the journey. So let's take that journey back a step. How did you get involved in this in the first place?
Well, about 15 years ago, my wife and I became empty nesters, and we were looking for a house on Fort Myers Beach. We had a little cottage, but we were looking for a little bit bigger home. And my wife came home and said, "I think I bought a hotel." And I said, "What?" So she took me down there, and it wasn't a hotel. It was a distressed property, but she had a vision and she saw it. And even though I think she's still crazy, we fixed it up and started a little boutique hotel. And it was going well for about 5 years. And then one of my neighbors commented that he always sees cars in our parking lot. How can we be full all the time? And I explained to him, well, our motto is clean rooms and happy guests. And he said, well, I've got this apartment I can't rent for anything. And I said, well, let me go take a look at it. And it had bad furniture, it wasn't clean. And I explained to him, look, you have to have nice stuff. I mean, you have to have a nice product that everybody will enjoy. And he said, no, it's on the beach. I said, well, tell you what, give me some money, let me fix it up, and I'll put it on Airbnb. Let's see what happens. And the very day that we opened, I had it booked, and I had it booked solid. And he told a friend, he told another friend, and all of a sudden I had a vacation rental company. So
that's crazy how that works, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
But when you're good at something, right, it just evolves. And
yeah, we try to do, besides having clean rooms and happy guests, is we treat every guest like they're staying at our house. We tell them what charter captains to use, what bars and restaurants to go to, what to order at those bars and restaurants. So we try to, or if they're playing golf, we tell them what golf courses to play. So we try to make their experience just like they'd be staying with us. So that's kind of how we do business.
And that's part of it.
Yeah, we just focus on Fort Myers Beach, Lovers Key, San Carlos Island. I mean, we know all the vendors, we know all the restaurants. We can make it more than just a vacation. We can make an experience for people based on what their wants and needs are.
And it comes down to that customer service that so many businesses nowadays are lacking. I think a lot of people have forgotten what customer service is. So it's good to see people like yourself actually practicing it.
Thank you. And it's really tough right now. This isn't a 5-star St. Bart's vacation down here. I mean, but if you let people know that we're rebuilding, there's a lot of construction going on. Not everything's open. If you let people know that ahead of time, then they can make the decision whether to come down or not. And when they do come down, it's a unique opportunity to see an island rebuilding after a devastating storm, and they can sense the vibe of the island, of the business owners, of the people. It's quite a unique experience for people. Now, it's not for everybody, but for the people that want to give it a shot, I think most people are happy.
Yeah, it is. You mentioned that vibe. That's the important thing. It's still there, and it's kind of exciting seeing what's coming,
Yes.
and changing and developing. So I want to talk about challenges, but
Well,
That's probably like a whole podcast in itself, right?
yeah, it's a whole podcast in itself. But I mean, the challenge is not everything's perfect. Even our really, really nice houses, they still have, the neighbor's fence might be down, or the other side of the house may have construction. So nothing's perfect. So that's the challenge, is making sure people are happy. We communicate with guests after they check in, make sure everything's okay. Um, so we do our best to make sure that people are happy. That's the main thing.
And so let's talk about myths or misconceptions, whether it's the state of the island right now or the fact that you're a small boutique hotel compared to a large resort.
Well, we had the boutique hotel and we lost it in the storm. So we have everything from 1-bedroom apartments downtown to 9-bedroom houses on the beach. So whatever your vacation needs are, whether it's one couple, two couples, a whole family, a family reunion, we can usually accommodate you. So that's kind of nice that our inventory is so diverse. But one of the big misconceptions about the island is that it's not rebuilt at all. It's still massive devastation. It's just not true. I mean, we're sure it's not perfect, but there's still, like I said, a vibe. There's still 40 or 50 bars and restaurants open. There are a couple of huge hotels. Margaritaville helps tremendously. But we're coming back.
And that's the important thing. And you mentioned Margaritaville. At first, everybody was kind of against it, kind of like, no, we don't want that big part of it. But it's been a staple of the rebuilding of Fort Myers Beach and a centerpiece.
Yes, I've looked at Margaritaville all along as the engine that's going to drive us forward. I mean, it's not for everybody, but I think people go over there and they check it out, and some people love it and they want to stay there, and that's great. Other people, it's just not their deal. But they have so many nice bars and restaurants in there. The staff is really friendly. The pool is fantastic. We have a lot of our guests stay with us, and they decide to go down to Margaritaville for the day to hang out at the pool. So it's really helped the economy here on the beach for sure.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, it attracts, whatever it's doing, but it's attracting new people to the beach.
Yes.
And exposing them, giving other businesses opportunities to branch out a little bit.
Right. And that's one of the hard parts, with our business, is we had so many repeat customers. And after we had red tide, we had Hurricane Irma, then red tide, then we had the pandemic, and then we had Hurricane Ian. So we lost a lot of those generational families that came down year after year after year. So we're starting pretty much over, starting anew. Now we have the diehards that just love Fort Myers Beach, and they want to support the community and help out. But we're starting to get a lot of new families, new people coming down here. And I think Margaritaville is one of the draws. Most people that live on this island came over that bridge, they stayed at a place, then they came back, and then they decide, hey, I might, come down here even longer, and then they buy a home, and all of a sudden they're residents and business owners. That's kind of the cycle of life here on the beach.
Absolutely. So talking about that, do you know, obviously a lot has changed, but do you notice anything trending currently?
As far as what, Cabo? What?
As far as the type of people that are coming or the type of opportunities people have here.
Yeah, there's the type of it. What's interesting is I don't want to say, I would say that the people coming down here have more money than in the past. There's a lot of people coming down looking to invest, and the demographic is, late 40s, early 50s. They have their eye on retiring in about 5 to 10 years, and they have money. So it's really different. It's not Naples, it's not Sanibel, but one of the things about Fort Myers Beach was, it's a little lower income, but it's not the case anymore. There's a lot of people with a lot of money coming down here, and what's cool about it is they're not stuck up, they're not snobby. I mean, great thing about the beach is you can go into any bar or restaurant and you have no idea what people do, how much money they have, and nobody really cares. But what I'm seeing is that there's more people now with more money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, and I always mention since moving down here, I call it quiet money. People aren't flashy with it, but they're obviously have a good wealth, but they don't brag about it.
Yeah, it's that millionaire next door, that Midwest money. Nobody's flashy. Same thing on the island. Everybody drives Jeeps. Nobody has a super duper expensive car. You get trashed anyways with the salt, but nobody needs to showboat anything,
Absolutely. Just be yourself. Speaking about the Midwest, I'm from the Midwest originally.
I am too.
Where are you from?
Milwaukee, right outside Milwaukee.
Okay. All right. What brought you down to Southwest Florida?
My wife. my wife's from Cleveland. She was homeschooled here on the beach, and she just loves this place. And the first time I came down here, I fell in love with it too. So it's just home. We travel quite a bit, but we always come back here, and it's just a special place. And it's really cool now that we're rebuilding. So we have the unique opportunity to, help create what this island can be in the future. So it's really neat.
Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity, through the circumstances we've all been through the last number of years. So
yeah.
I know you've got a lot on your plate, but when you do get a moment of free time, what do you enjoy doing outside of work?
I'm in a golf league, keep my sanity. I take Thursdays off. I have a good group of friends. I've started about 10 years ago, and it was mostly the business owners, and it seemed like Thursday was always a good day to get off island, and it's morphed into more than just business owners. I try to get on my boat as much as possible, but it's been tough. We're deep in the heart of season right now, so we're working every day. So in off season, my wife and I enjoy traveling, but it's been tough to get away from here because there's so much going on.
Yep. Yeah, so much to do. Absolutely. So is there one thing you wish our listeners knew about Sea Gypsy that maybe they're not too familiar with?
Well, I want people to know that the beach is open, and if for the local community, if you have friends coming into town, come on down to the beach for a staycation. Or if you just live here, the beach is open, and we have a lot of rentals that are nightly, 2-night, 3-night. So just come on down for a staycation. We're open and love to show you how great it is.
So how would our listeners go about contacting you if they wanted to learn more or wanted to come visit?
So they can visit our website at gypsyvacation.com or give us a call at 239-463-0078 or check out our Facebook and Instagram pages.
Very good. Any last words for our listeners today?
Just remember that the vibe is alive here in Fort Myers Beach.
I love that. Scott, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for being such a good neighbor, and we hope to see you out at the beach soon.
Well, thanks for having me, and hope to see you on the beach.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com. Or call 239-296-2621.